All right, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we want to welcome you to Focus on Liberia. Good morning to those of you here in the USA. Good afternoon to folks in Liberia, and welcome to Focus on Liberia. Of course, this is the Hour of Politics. Today is Thursday and is a special edition of the Hour of Politics. I'm your host, as always, Anthony C. I am happy, as always, to be here to do what I'd love to do, talking to people who are making contribution, especially in government. Welcome to the show. Hit the share button for us. Help us by making sure that your friends participate in this conversation. In this edition of our show, we have a very special guest. His name is Atty. Alexander V.S. City. He will tell me what silly means. I will tell him what CA means. That is how I like to get it started. Atty. Alexander V.S. City, welcome to Focus on Liberia. Happy New Year. I'm happy to have you, sir. How you doing?
Fine. It's a pleasure appearing on your show for the very first time. Happy New Year, and I wish you the best of 2021. It's good to be your studio guest for today.
Thank you so very much. Our guest will be introducing himself, but I just want to share with you, he is the chairman of CDC Montserrado County, and he has a lot of power when it comes to leadership in the CDC, and we are here to talk about the CDC now and its future. This is where you want to be here at this hour. And again, I can't welcome you enough as we get into this conversation. Mr. Saylee, again, welcome. My viewers listening to us now, not many of them know you, but I know you have been a major player in the politics of Liberia, especially in the CDC. Please share with us who you are so that my audience can get to know you a little more. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. I'm Atty. Alexander V.S. Saylee. I am a politician, a businessman, and a philanthropic. I also serve as the in-house counsel for the National Water and Sanitation Commission. That is, I serve as the Director for Legal Affairs, a civil servant position for that matter. I also serve as the chairperson of the Montserrado chapter of the Coalition for Democratic Change, Republic of Liberia. I am a friendly guy, as you may know me, and we are always available to both the public and our private life to provide assistance to people at all times. And so it's a pleasure being with you on your show.
Thank you so very much. And we too are happy to have you. The thing about political parties is that political parties try to get power. And when they get power, we tend to have our future in the hands of those who control those political parties. The CDC is one of those political parties. Our topic for today is the CDC now and its future. Let me give you a little synopsis why political parties are so important, especially when one is in power. Right now, Donald Trump has been booted out of power. He was voted out. But when Donald Trump won, the Democratic Party, to a greater extent, felt decimated. They felt that all was lost. And we just have elections in Liberia. The feelings that most citizens are having is that, wow, how could this happen? And many Liberians are feeling the same way. But again, that CDC, if can stick around and do everything right, they will be able to make a comeback. Would that be the case? But our topic is the CDC now and the CDC tomorrow, or its future. Let's start quickly here. Based on your assessment of the CDC, is the CDC strong politically?
Well, we still remain a force to reckon with. We still maintain our strength despite the just ended election. As you can see on the overall result, the CDC indeed continue to maintain that should remain a force to reckon with. The result clearly shows to you, despite us losing Montserrado County, who happens to be the biggest political party, but I think we put up a very successful fight within Montserrado County, for which we control. But on the overall, we were able to make significant achievement despite the challenges being posed by our adversary in these elections that's ongoing hearing at this moment. But on the overall, I think we did extremely well when it comes to this midterm election and that of the by-election, because from record, we won the 2 by-elections, Sano and District number 9, even though it's been contested, and obviously we're going to prevail in those hearings. But with the 15 counties, it was shared both by the collaborating political party, the CDC, and independent candidates. So I think we did extremely well.
All right, that is your honest assessment. Others are saying something entirely different. And so let's get to it quickly here. And what is going on for the CDC now, and where are you struggling? What are the things that are going well for you in your opinion, and what are the areas do you think that you are struggling in terms of governance?
Well, as you may be aware, when it comes to the governance aspects, you know fully well that we are faced with a serious economic challenge. And those economic challenge based on what this government have inherited. We don't want to see it as a situation that we expect to continue. But in as much this government is continuing to do her best in making sure that we mitigate these challenges, obviously we expect people to not be that deceitful in trying to misinform our public and mislead our people, make it appear that what is happening within our economy is something being done deliberately by our government or by the inability of our government. No other government would have done it much better than what this government is doing, given the fact that we took over an economy that was so broken, and today we are passionate. Initially, government was never on time in paying civil servants. Today, government is on time. The government, in fact, have put in more measure in making sure that before even the 25th of each month, civil servant pay should be ready and it should be in their respective account. We know that when it comes to economic challenges, it's not only peculiar to Liberia. It is a world over situation, and Liberia is no exception to that. So people should not make it to appear that because President Weah today is the president, this is why our economy is moving the way it is moving. No, it is not true. It's happening in Ghana, it's happening in Nigeria, it's happening all over the world. The world is faced with economic challenges, and Liberia is no exception to that. The CDC-led government came on the basis of promises, and we are fulfilling those promises. We spoke of infrastructure development. We spoke of human capacity development. We spoke of freedom and justice in this country. And today, CDC have demonstrated a high degree of democratic credentials when it comes to election in this country. No, everybody expected, even the opposition were crying to say that we're going to rig the election, we're going to do this, we're going to cheat. And you saw the election went on free, fair, transparent, and credible. As much as we wanted Montserrado at all costs, we did not do anything to undermine the democratic credential of the CDC or the party-led government. We continue to maintain the integrity of democracy in this country and continue to champion the democracy that we fought for over the past years as an opposition, and that today we are serving as a political institution. It becomes a burden on us to maintain that integrity, to ensure that democracy is at its best in the Republic of Liberia. Today, we can see around us a lot of infrastructure development, particularly our road network, which happens to be a major challenge to our economic condition we find ourselves in today. Roads have been built throughout Monrovia, and even as we speak, the road from Ganta proceeding to Tapeta as far as Grand Jide is being worked on as we speak. And so we should appreciate the fact that as much as we have challenges with the economy, we should also appreciate the fact that our government is doing well. And what we need is the support from everybody. People should not consider themselves to be opposition to feel that they have nothing to contribute, but to only criticize. Liberia belongs to every one of us. People in the diaspora should not sit us out there to some of them to think that the only thing they can do is to criticize our government and to undermine this government so that support cannot come here. We're not doing it to anybody else, but we're doing it to us as Liberians. Because you got your brothers in Liberia, you got your sisters here, they are all going through the economic thing that we find ourselves in.
So, Attorney Saylee, thank you. I asked the question, what is going well for you? And you narrated a whole lot economically, security-wise, and all that. I will cross you on those ones. And when I asked the question also, in what areas you are struggling, you won't give me specifics. Can you give me specifics in terms of areas where you are struggling? I need specifics. You give me specifics when it came to where you think you're doing well, and we'll get to those areas. Can you give me some specifics? I need some honesty here. Where you think you are struggling?
Yes, as well as some infrastructure challenges. When it comes to our road network, we are still faced with serious challenge in our area. Mm-hmm. When it comes to our economy, we still faced with some level of challenge within those areas. Mm-hmm. So we still struggling between the issue of our infrastructure, specifically our road network, and that of the economy, because we need more food investment in our country, we need more investment in our country, which is gradually taking place.
All right. Well, those are the areas you say you are struggling, but I know a whole lot of areas in which you are struggling, and I will bring them later in this interview. Let's talk about your relationship between CDC USA and other branches of auxiliaries of the CDC. How is your relationship with the CDC? You are the chairman of Montserrado County, so you are very close to the hierarchy. Is your relationship good enough with CDC USA?
Well, on the overall, we have a cordial working relationship. Even just in the election, we have representatives from the U.S. was here that participated in the just in the midterm election, and I think every activity as it relates to CDC, that of USA and Monrovia, they are all cordial, and we in close connection through the national chairman, Honorable Morbake Molu.
Well, I have to push back on this one because I don't believe what you just said, that the relationship of CDC Liberia and CDC USA is cordial. I don't find any truth in that. And yeah, I'm a reason.
It's cordial. It's cordial.
Well, I don't know.
No. The fact of the matter is issue relating to CDC USA on ground at the United States of America is something that we cannot just directly interfere into. We give them an opportunity and a leverage to work as a auxiliary base within the United States of America, wherein we coordinate the affairs as a national.
Attorney Saylee, if you can't interfere, I understand, but I want you to be truthful, because while you said that the relationship, in your own words, is cordial, and I don't think it's cordial, and you are not telling the truth.
Why? Why would you say it's not cordial? Can you make reference to what you just said, to show that the relationship is not cordial?
Yeah, this is what I know, because your leaders here, I know a lot of them, and they complain that it's not a good relationship between your leaders in Liberia and your leaders here in the U.S. So for you to say it's cordial, how cordial is it that most of your chairmen, your former chairmen, are not even being factored into your government, when you have Unity Party people are calling to your own officials in your government, and you call that cordiality?
No, but the cordiality we're talking about is that it has to do with our own working relationship as a political institution. Issue of other concerns raised by some members at the level of the US-based CDC that has to do with their own concern being factored in the government. These are internal and separate issues that which I know have not been brought to the public glare, except maybe someone that confided in you, but there's no seditions at the level of the US.
These things, Anthony, these things have been in the public glare for a long time. You know this. You guys been in power for almost 3 years now, and these have been floated around that they will be considered, they will not be considered.
I know for sure the USA base were here with the chairman. They had a very good and successful meeting with the leader, His Excellency, Dr. George Manuel Weah. And they knew fully well the outcome of that meeting was very successful, and they left back to the U.S. not unhappy. was certified, and this is why we had some of the members even came back to participate in the election. So the issue about stratification, I mean, it's internal affairs, and the party is professionally handling that.
All right, I will leave you on that. I don't believe that answer. Let's come to CDC COP. Tell me why, in your wisdom, ahead of Montserrado County, felt the need that you needed to create a CDC COP in the first place. Was that a good strategy, and did that help you in any way?
We did not create what you call CDC COP, but instead there were people who broke away from the COP and have come to join us and have decided to maintain the nomenclature or to identify themselves with us as a political party, CDC. And so we gave them the leverage to exercise the right and privileges within the CDC so that they can operate as an authority. And so when it comes to that, CDC is an open political institution, open to every membership, to anybody who wants to come and join the party, bear any nomenclature. It must just be in keeping with our party constitution, and to make sure it does not violate anything across our party constitution, even our national constitution. So they're coming into our institution, deciding on that nomenclature. It is that right. And we also welcome them to work along with us. And they have become a full member of our institution. So I don't see anything wrong with that.
So how are you benefiting from this arrangement that you have with them politically? All right, folks, in cyberspace, you are watching Focus on Liberia. My name is Anthony Sier. This is the Hour of Politics, and we are in an exclusive interview with Anthony Alexander, V.S. Saylee. He is the chairman for CDC Montserrado County. It seems to be that someone tried to call him, so there's a little technical difficulty taking place right now. This is where you want to be. Anthony Saylee is in the hot seat here, taking some questions from us here at Focus on Liberia. Of course, this is a special edition of the Hour of Politics with me, Anthony Saylee. This is where you want to be. As soon as that issue is resolved, we will be bringing Anthony Saylee right back in studio to continue with this interview. We have finally lost him. I guarantee you he will join us. But this is the question that I'm asking. For some reason, CDC felt the need to bring in COP into their midst. And that was just around the campaign time. This was the time when CDC were doing everything to get everybody on board, hoping that that would have helped them to be able to win the Senate seat in Montserrado County. They even came up with a mandate for that particular seat. And the mandate was to reclaim Montserrado County. And so we saw them just about everywhere, getting endorsement here and there. And they even made attempts on getting people like Noel Gibson from the Unity Party to come to them. There are facts today that Noel Gibson and others were given money by the CDC through its finance minister, Samuel Twelve, to come to the CDC. They were doing all this because they felt that that was the path to them claiming the Montserrado County Senate seat. So some way, somehow, according to sources within the very CDC, money exchanged hands. Those boys were enticed financially to go to the CDC. And because of the economic situation in Liberia, those young men not having any means of survival succumbed to the temptations, and they were able to join the CDC. And they not just joined the CDC as seditionists, they joined the CDC as CDC COP. Their strategy was that the COP was getting popular, and any effort to undermine the COP would have boosted the chances of the CDC, but that didn't happen. I'm hoping that Anthony Saylee will be able to join us as we continue in this interview, because I have very, very tough questions for Anthony Saylee. When I press him on the issue of CDC USA and CDC Liberia, whether or not there is a good relationship between the two of them, he said the relationship is cordial. I'm not buying it. I'm not going to take that because I have the facts and I know all these players. And so Anthony said he did not tell the truth. I don't know why he calls cordiality. You and these people were in the political wilderness together. They raised money. They supported you and you won the election. And all their leaders have been ostracized. They have not been factored into the government. And you call that cordiality? Folks, do you believe that? Are you buying this explanation? We also know at some point there was a retreat that was called. When that retreat time came, many CDC officials here in the US, they went to Liberia. When they came back, all we heard from them was disappointment. They were not even given the opportunity to express their grievances. Nothing was resolved. Today, many of those leaders continue to be ostracized. And the well-learned Anthony will tell me that the relationship between CDC USA and CDC Liberia is cordial. I'm not buying it. Well, when I press in on the question whether or not the CDC, in what areas the CDC doing well, he had a laundry list of what the CDC is doing. And as you all know, it will always be that usual kumbaya song, building roads and all that. And he listed all of those things. But when I press him, can you explain to me and give me some specifics on areas in which you are struggling? He was on the surface. There are challenges, there are, bad road conditions. These bad road conditions have been there. Even the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf administration, to the very latter years of administration, there were economic challenges. We know that because there was one budget shortfall after the other. There was one budget shortfall after the other. So the issue of financial, or economic challenges have been around. I agree that is one of the major issues there in the country that they are fixing. But I wanted him to give me specific area, especially where they have made promises. All right, on the issue of they're talking about they were going to build about 10,000, I think 2,000 housing units in the West Point area. What happened? Were they able to accomplish that? And so I hope the well-learned counselor will join us here because I have very tough questions for him. I was about to come to the mandate of the CDC that they will have claimed Montserrado County, and that did not happen. And I also wanted to ask the well-learned counselor if he can join us here. I want to know whether the CDC is united. Is CDC a unified party as we speak? I don't think the CDC is a unified party. But again, when you're on the outside, sometimes what you get might not be all the facts. So that is why we have the well-learned Anthony here to be able to tell us whether the CDC is a unified political party, because we have been hearing a lot. We have listened to Akaras Gray. We have listened to Mumba Molu. Many of you are aware at some point there was a leaked audio in which Mumba Molu have a whole lot to say, even against the very president. We have seen this enchanted sedition here and there voicing out their frustration, pointing fingers at their leaders, how they have been abandoned. We remember one of CDC's former leaders at some point threatened to even commit suicide because he was being abandoned along the way. He was not being factored into the government. And my understanding that he was one of the first chairmen of CDC in Liberia. That man had not been factored into the CDC. We have heard from Akara Grace so many times. Even of recent, Akara Grace seems not to be satisfied with the trajectory of the party. The way things are going, Akara Gray is not happy. And Akara Gray had a whole lot to say that Samuel Twer need to listen a little more. He even floated the idea that maybe though he fantasized about how smart of a man Twer is and all that, but he will go on to say Samuel Twer need to be able to call for help. He says Samuel Twer should be able to call for help. And that is a true statement. Honorable Samuel Twer needs a lot of help. Folks, I just hope that we can get the well-learned Counselor Anthony V.S. City to join us in studio so we can continue this very important interview. So stay with me. I'm hoping that I can get in here quickly. If I can't get in the next 5 minutes, I guarantee you I will be able to place a call to him and I'll bring in some music. And so, folks, we are here in conversation with the chairman of CDC Montserrado County. Because of technical difficulty, he had just left. He fell off, and we are hoping that he can come in. We have a lot of questions. He needs to answer the question on how come CDC was able to lose the seat in Montserrado County. How come? This was the seat for which they did everything. This was the seat for which many of their leaders made political promises that they cannot even live up to right now. For example, Momba K. Molu, he said that should Dillon win, he will resign. He's yet to resign. We also heard from surrogates like Mai Jabata, who the CDC recruited during the campaign in their effort to reclaim Montserrado County, saying that he was going to commit suicide should Darius Dillon win. Darius Dillon is the winner. He's yet to commit that suicide. And many other leaders made promises. Akara Gray, he said a whole lot. Some of you can just go on a page, you will see all the things that he has said, that they were going to defeat Darius Dillon. And who is the better person to ask these tough questions other than the chairman of Montserrado County? Because it is his county. They promised the Liberian people and their supporters that they will have reclaimed their seat. They had everything. They spent all the money. Money was never the problem. They had a candidate that they were so much excited about, and yet they could not do it. But again, folks, we are sorry that we can't get the well-learned Anthony to join us here in studio. I don't know what is going on there at his end. I don't know what is going on there at his end. I just wish we could get him. But before he can come in, let me share this with you quickly. Let me share this with you quickly, folks. Let me share this with you quickly. Talking about whether or not there is unity in the CDC. I have there is a post from Akaros Moses Grade, and the post read, and the post here, Akara Grade posted this on December 13. All right, that was 2020, December 13, 2020. Akara Grade posted this, and I believe it should be 2019. The line is drawn, and we are resolved. If care is not taken, the true soldiers will make it terribly nasty. The few opportunists do not have where. The few opportunists don't love where or this government more than the masses.